When there are money-making opportunities in sports, we turn to the best in the business. No, not the two jackaloons, me and Guff. We go to Eddie Olczyk with the horses. He hit the Derby. He hit the Preakness. We're going for our Triple Crown. Edzo, how are you, man?
Hey, what's up, Cap? Guff, nice to be with you guys. I am on location. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, getting ready to do Game 2 on the radio. I got the gig for the radio because our friends at ESPN and ABC have the Stanley Cup Final this year. We will have the Stanley Cup Final on TNT next year, but I'm working for Sports USA Radio and get a chance to work with the legendary Johnny Forsland. So. We're enjoying. We enjoyed Game 1. We got a big Game 2 here tonight, and I travel out to Vegas on Friday. And what a pucks and ponies doubleheader do we have on Saturday? You got the running of the Belmont at Saratoga at around 6:07 Chicago time, and at about 7:07 Chicago time, you got puck drop of Game 3 between the Golden Knights and the Hurricanes. So a great time of year, and hopefully, we're going to keep this streak going. We're on a nice heater when it comes to the Triple Crown, and I think there's money to be made on Saturday.
Okay, so Guff and I have been handicapping. I've been looking at the workouts and all that, but you're the guru. You are the NBC Kentucky Derby handicapper. So direct us in a place that you think that horse absolutely is alive.
Yeah. Well, it's a 9-horse field right now. They're going to go the same distance as they did in the Kentucky Derby. It's 1.25 miles. Usually it's at 1.5 miles, but because they are running at Saratoga, because Belmont is under construction, they will be back there a year from right now at the newly renovated Belmont Park. I would have picked, and as we talked about it, if Renegade in the Kentucky Derby was not in post position number 1, he would have been my pick. Now, full disclosure, he was my second pick because the one horse I like 20 full effort ended up getting scratched. So Renegade was going to be my pick if he did not get post position number 1 in the Derby. He did. He ran huge. He ended up running second. I think this race hit some smack dab between the eyes. I think there's enough speed in this race. I think he's going to get a much better trip that he did in the Kentucky Derby. We saw the big run that he had. Golden Tempo beat him to the punch. That's kind of the way that it goes. But I think the trip took a little bit out of him. So I think he's going to get a little cleaner trip here. I don't want to see him 8th or 9th. I like to see him sitting, believe it or not, I like to see him sitting 6th or 7th because I think that would make a world of difference. So I think number 4, Renegade, he's the morning line favorite at 2-1. Do I think we're going to get 2-1? I think he might be a little bit higher than that. So if we can maybe squeeze out 5-2 or even 3-1, that would be great because I think there are going to be a couple of horses that are going to get some money. So my pick will be number 4, Renegade, to win the Belmont Stakes on Saturday.
And do you think he's clearly the best horse in the race?
I do.
Clearly?
I do. I think he has shown to be the most talented. I think he's shown the one horse to really be able to overcome adversity. And lastly, I think that he has that get up and go quickness when you really need it to get into the race or get that separation. We've seen it a couple of times in the races that he's run. You don't always win, but I think you're going to get a really true run. And you got to take what the track gives you sometimes. We talk about it often, Cap and Guff. You only can, if you like a horse and the horse is double digits, well, you gotta get your feet wet. And sometimes when you really like a horse, and I really like Renegade, you got to take 2-1. Well, what's wrong with making 2-1 money in about 2.5 minutes? There's really nothing wrong with that. So I do believe he's the most talented. Let's see if he runs to that on Saturday.
Sexier field. You got Golden Tempo you mentioned in the field, Edzo. But I think, from a public standpoint, people are always going to, back the Derby winner. There's that sexiness of the Derby winner. In the 9 post, I think it's 9-2. I want to say now.
Yeah.
9-2. Is that overinflated because of winning the Derby, or do you feel like Golden Tempo's at a good number there?
I think that's a good number. In the post position, the way that he runs, Guff, is not going to matter. He's going to break. He's going to go right over to the rail, and then he's going to, he's going to do what he does is make his late run. I think he ran so well in the Kentucky Derby, and the race collapsed, right? The speed went out there. Everybody came back. The closing horses ended up picking him up, and that's what ended up happening. Golden Tempo beat Renegade 19-1, and you for $2 exacted pay $275, which was absolutely massive. So it'll be interesting to see how the race does play out. I do believe that there is a little bit more speed in there than most people do, and the faster they go, the better it will be for a horse like Renegade. And then Golden Tempo can certainly pick them up. But I'm going to use a couple other horses. I'll get to that right now if I can. I'm going to use number 4, Renegade, is my pick, and I'm going to use him everywhere in all my gimmicks. I am going to use number 3, Chief Wallaby. He had an eventful running of the Kentucky Derby. He ran a good Florida Derby. I think the distance will suit him, very, very well. So I'm going to use him second. I am going to use the horse that I picked in the Kentucky Derby, Emerging Market. I think he's going to get a better trip. I think he's bred for the distance. The only thing I will say about our Emerging Market, after watching the race probably 150 times, that being the Kentucky Derby, is when he had a chance turning for home to really fire. Best analogy, he just idled. He didn't kick on. Now, in front of 150,000 fans, that was only his 3rd career race. He's running for a great trainer in Chad Brown. I don't think Chad Brown would run the horse going 1.25 miles back 5 weeks later if he didn't think that the horse could get the job done. So that'll be my top 3. It'll be Renegade on top the 4, number 3, Chief Wallaby to finish second, and I'm going to go with Emerging Market, number 8, to finish third. And hopefully, like I said earlier, we can find our way to the winner's circle and the betting windows and make a little bit of money.
Yeah, 4, 3, 8 is what Edzo's giving out. I was looking at it, Edzo, and I have the daily racing form up here on my screen while we're talking, and I really like Emerging Market. I absolutely think it's a contender. Can you tell me why Flavien Pratt would jump off one horse to jump on Emerging Market unless he thought I can win this race?
Yeah, he rides a lot for Chad Brown. Did he not ride him in the Derby, Cap?
I believe he did, but he had been contracted, what I was just reading, to ride another horse, and then jumped off him to jump on Emerging Market.
Yeah, he knows the horse, and like I said, he's bred for it. The only knock that I can make, you can't knock the trainer because Chad Brown's one of the best. Flavien Pratt is one of the best jockeys. The only knock is, again, I'm going to reiterate, is that if you go back and watch the Kentucky Derby, when they start turning for home, I think he was the number 15 in the Kentucky Derby, there was a hole, and he tried and he just idled. He just did not have that punch, and that's concerning. But again, young horse, a lot of things could play into that. So I'm willing to give him another chance. I'm going to use him for third. I'm not going to use him, to win. I might backdoor something if I'm going to reverse things and stuff. But if he hits the board, it would not surprise me. But that would be the only concerning. That would be the only concerning part for me.
Growth equity, by the way, that's what Pratt was on. He jumped off to go to Emerging Market.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's a real quick. Everyone's always like, you've been hitting big winners here the last couple of weeks, but when you look at this field and clearly you love Renegade at 2-1. So people who are looking to make a big payday may have to be a little bit more aggressive on a horse like Renegade, and maybe you sit out the exacta if you're looking to just say, okay, you say Renegade's the best horse in the field, maybe it goes up to 2.5, 3-1, and you play it that way. Or are you still? We're all going to play the exotics no matter what.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I'm saying here? You're not going to probably get that bigger payday unless one of these upsets happen here in the Belmont.
Yeah, but I think also too, though, Guff, is that if you're going to play a trifecta, try to get the order of the top 3 finishers.
Yeah.
If you do, I mean, but pick any numbers. I mean, if you like the 4 in Renegade and you like 2 horses to finish second, what's wrong with spending $6 and using 2 horses? 2 horses second, and then using 3 horses third, and you can maybe turn that $6 bet into maybe 110 or 120. I mean, that's a pretty good, again, pretty good ROI. Day. Yeah, and in a short period of time. Now, if you're making the 3, 4, 5 million that Cap is making every year, you might want to play $1,000 trifectas or exactas or whatever. Though you made the good point, though, Guff, is sometimes, and I've been playing the horses since I was 12 years old, so that's a freaking long time ago. In 48 years I've been playing the horses. Is what is wrong with turning $200 into $580?
Nothing.
There is nothing. So I would always encourage people, if you like a horse, make sure you put a couple of bucks on the nose. Even a horse is 2 to 1 or horse is 22 to 1. I don't think you ever want to. And it happens because I've done it thousands of times where you try to get a little bit too cute and you allocate your bankroll to 80-90% with gimmicks instead of going, oh, geez, what was wrong with having 200 to win and a horse pays 780? I mean, that's get 780 back if you bet 200 on it. So I like your thought process, and I think it's a good teaching reminder for horse players is that if you like a horse and they're a decent number, again, you decide what you think is a decent number. Right. If a horse is 9 to 5, I mean, what's wrong with betting 500 to win on the horse and you get back 1,400? You bet 500, you win 900. That's okay too. So it's just a matter of how you see the race. But I want to make sure everybody understands you don't have to bet a lot in order to win a lot, because if you get the right numbers, it could end up being a really, really nice investment.
Yeah, a guy who played for the Blackhawks and had a U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame career when I was a kid. I watched him. He once said to me, "Don't ever cry over a spilled or a cash ticket." And so the same Guff tells me that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. When you win, there's no better feeling than going to the window or hitting your refresh button on your device, and then all of a sudden you see a couple of commas in there. You're like, whoa, all right, this is what we're talking about.
That is it. Edzo, have a great hockey call. We'll be watching, and let's hope you've got the Triple Crown nailed.
Let's hope so, boys. Great to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you when the hockey season is finally over. I'll get back home, and I really enjoy it. I believe, and I'm being dead serious. I've had, in my travels, I'm going to say 50 to 100 people that have stopped me and said that they saw me when the Preakness show that you guys I did in studio with you guys. So it was nice to get that acknowledgement, and you guys keep up the great work, and I look forward to seeing you down the road.
You're the best, Edzo, and I hear you got new golf clubs. We're gonna go play.
I do. I don't know if I can use them very good, but I'm gonna try.
This guy took him in our first match of the year, so that's I'm gonna go ahead publicly with that one, Cap.
Oh, I hope you took some of those millions he makes every year.
He beat me on 18 too.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's right. All right, boys, see ya.
All right,
the best. There he is, the great Eddie Olczyk, and again, really exciting that he is as good as he is at this, and he's great with us.
Dude, he's the best. Our videos, I've been looking at comments. People are going, where's Edzo? I need my Belmont picks. I mean, when you're as hot as Edzo's the best. We love him, obviously, as a friend, but when he's making people money, it's even better. And don't forget, we gamble at First Bet, the #1 stbet.com, promo code CAP250, KAP 250, and you will get a $250 sign-up bonus. That's right. The #1 stbet.com, and you will get that $250 sign-up bonus for all your wagers. Guff, a lot of fun, man, as always. Running to the window.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We appreciate you watching all of our horse racing coverage with the great Edzo. Take that.